Hello and welcome to a Blender tutorial on where we'll be teaching you how to create a humanoid and have it fully animated. The topology will also be spot on, and it'll be ready to import into games or whatever you want to use it for. The first thing you're going to have to do is install this open source software called Make Human. A simple Google search will bring it up for you. We'll wait for this to load, and as you can see, it's pretty much just like any character creation thing you do at the start of a video game like Skyrim or Dragon Age or anything like that, where you have these sliders to control what your character looks like. And so you can just it's a lot like that, but the scale is like, obviously you can make it anything from a child all the way to up to an old man. You can change pretty much every dimension and size and everything you want on this individual. I'll just keep everything pretty default for now. I think you understand how this works and you can create characters that look however you want. But let's go into this Geometries tab because this is pretty cool. This adds clothing to our character, and it actually works really well for Blender. So I mean, we can add a shirt and jeans and a hat and shoes, and everything works out just fine. The Materials tab, this just gives you the your textures. So like you can give it a cartoon texture, which is kind of creepy looking if you ask me, or you can just give it typical white guy texture, whatever you'd like. This tab right here, this Pose Animate tab, is very important. It's what we're going to be it's what's going to save you a lot of time in Blender. You won't have to make skeletons and you won't have to animate them after I show you what we can do here. Just select the basic skeleton for what we're doing. It just has enough to make the jaw move, the fingers articulate, and the large bones in the body. Keep in mind though that, I mean, if you're into making video games, you could use this one. It's a very simple rig. Or if you're making a movie and you need your character to have some muscle articulation and to be able to flex and do different things, you could have this skeleton as well. But for what we're doing, this will work just fine, this basic. These tabs right here, we don't have to worry about right now, but as you can guess, they have they do everything that, like, you can render it if you'd like, but I mean, we can do that in Blender anyway, so why bother with it? An interesting thing to see is that if you look in wireframe mode, you see that the topology on your model is just perfect. You couldn't get it much better than that if you spent some time with it to try to make it just great. And so a great thing about this is you don't have to spend time doing sculpting and retopology. What we're going to do now is we'll have to export this in this Blender Exchange format. I'm going to export mine to my desktop and I'm just going to name it this exports right there. Just click save. It'll ask me if I want to overwrite it, and I do. Let's minimize that, and now we can bring up Blender and get into it. The first thing that you need is you need this Make Human import add-on. If you're not sure how to put an add-on into Blender, there's lots of tutorials online how to do it, and a quick Google search will help you find the Make Human add-on. So if you add the exports add-on that we just made right there, you'll see, it takes a minute, but you'll see that our character comes into the scene. And if we Shift Z, well, the lighting's terrible, but hold on, I'll add a light so that you can see what it looks like. Let's get out of pose mode into object mode and add a light. Just rotate it just so that it gives it a little bit more dynamic. There we go. And so now you can see we've got this person there. And that's not the same person we were working on before, but that's okay. You get the idea. I must have just selected the wrong file. So this is another character I've created. It has the same skeleton. It has the same, created it the same way, as you can obviously tell. Just go back into, we'll select our guy there, and we'll go into, sorry, the skeleton. We want to select the skeleton and go into pose mode. Now this is where you're going to save a lot of time. If you go into miscellaneous, oh sorry, this is another add-on you need to get. I'll just show you in my preferences the kinds of add-ons I'm using. So you need this BVH format add-on, and again Google search to find them. Obviously you need the import export make human add-on, and then these make human add-ons, make clothes, make target, and make walk. And I think that's all the add-ons you'll need for this tutorial. Maybe you need this rigging rigify. I'm not sure if you do or not for this tutorial, but it's also a good add-on to have if you don't have it already. Anyway, with the skeleton selected, you'll go into pose mode, and once you have the make walk add-on, you can go down to the miscellaneous tab here, and if you click load and retarget, you can find what are called BVH files online, and that's basically motion capture data that people have made based on you know, when you see the CGI behind the scenes for movies where they have the character dressed in the green suit and they have all the points on them. It's exactly where they're getting most of this data. And so here I have quite a collection of it. I won't post it online just because I don't know how much of it is open source and how much of it is for non-commercial use only. So I'll keep that to myself for now, but if you were to Google it, you could find lots of BVH or motion capture files. Both of those keywords would bring up a lot of different files. So I'll just select a random thing here. Load and retarget with the skeleton selected, and it takes a second, but you'll notice that when we come back to it, the skeleton is now animated based on what it shows there. If we press play, the skeleton will do what the animation had it do. So here we see he's playing golf, or he's putting, or something. But I mean, there's lots of different motion capture files you can have: punching, kicking, fighting. It's excellent because if you are a game creator and you want to have assets, this is a quick way to create animation assets. If you're an animator for a video and you don't want to have to go through the monotonous process of going frame by frame by frame, creating a walking animation, you can do it here. One last thing I want to show you though, and for all intents and purposes the tutorial as far as Blender goes is over, but I do want to show you this tool that will help you to make your BVH file or customize your BVH files. This is another open source program. It's called BVH Hacker, and it's especially useful for game creators. Animators will also find a lot of use in it, but if you open a BVH file, maybe it's thinking about it, you can change a lot of properties about it, and so that it's more adaptable for what you're doing. And so for example, here's one, and let's say I'm playing a game, or I want it to be in a game where, see, so we can see here that with this, whatever he's doing, he's got his feet kind of through the floor. Looks like he's breakdancing in this one. That's pretty cool. But with this program, you can make it so that you can move the whole skeleton up so it doesn't go through the floor. You can make constraints so that the
individual joints don't go through the floor, you can make it so that one point stays static, and so that if you were using it on a game and you didn't want your character moving away while you were executing whatever animation, like say you were using a running animation, it would start from this point and it would run all the way off the screen over here. Well, you don't want that to happen in a game, and so you'd want to lock that character in place so he is running in place, and you control the movement with the game engine. This program will allow you to do that. And so the Make Human, the Blender, and this BVH Hacker have saved me a lot of time with game creation and also with animation inside of Blender, and there's just so much you can do with it, and it will save you so much time, and I hope that the things I've taught you today will, when implemented, you can have as much success as I've had with them. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comments below. If you'd like to see something specific in a future tutorial, please don't hesitate to ask, and also, above all else, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.